Hello, everyone, and welcome to my dining room. Lots of stuff going on in here. I have coffee every day. Try not to have too much. I listen to some records. My kids make artwork for me, all good stuff. So, this week, I want to tell you a little bit more about the project that we're working on in relation to the discussion posting that you're going to complete this week. So, mainly, I just want to make sure that we stay on the same page. We're going to be working on the adaptation project for a couple of weeks, at least, probably about a month, if not more. Um, it really depends on how things are going and whether or not I change that up. This is the first time that I'm working on this assignment with students. And so I really want to get a feel for it and see kind of what we can pull from this. If we can keep going with this after that month-long period, sort of after spring break, we will. And hopefully that is the case so that I can help you eventually do more with the writing and go back and reuse some of this writing. So we're doing this work individually now, and by individually, I mean you're working on a particular topic every week, and you're working on your citation every week, and different skills. So the skill for this week is MLA citation. The skill for last week was finding scholarly sources and using the databases, and so I want to make sure that we maintain the continuity that you understand that just because we go into another week and I say, all right, time to get your book of choice, that doesn't mean like all of a sudden I'm okay with you going and getting another book. We're going to stick with the same book for right now. And again, we'll just see how it goes. So bear with me as we're working through this. And I hope you enjoy it. I look forward to hearing your feedback. I'm going to give you a survey next week to kind of see how the course is going. And then, of course, a course is a course, and you're going to be filling out one of those student feedback on instruction SFIs. Um, and I'd love to get everybody to participate in that. So, keep your eyes out for those two surveys and really help me out. Let me know how things are going for you next week in the survey so that I can, make adjustments if necessary. And, just let me know the positives, the negatives, the things that you find difficult, the things that you found interesting. I won't say easy, although, that might be something that you go write about on Rate My Professor later. Um, I don't want it to be either easy or hard. I want it to be enjoyable, um, a learning experience, and those kinds of things. So hopefully you're learning a little bit more about literary studies in our course. This week we're going to be talking about a particular kind of literary theoretical approach called disasterology. And the idea behind this is that disasters and the idea of disasters becomes more and more of our cultural dialogue as they become more and more prevalent in our world. So, just in today, um, I woke up this morning. I have family up in Buffalo, New York, and I woke up this morning discovering that they had an earthquake. And then a few hours later, I discovered that there was an even bigger earthquake and some really, really heavy devastation um, to communities that have already been, shocked and struggling over disasters, right? And we have disasters of all kinds and shapes in our world. They can be personal disasters, they can be environmental disasters, they can be legal disasters, um, they can be fictitious disasters. They can be all kinds of different things. So, in relation to these two books, the adaptation and the film, I'm really looking for you to figure out what is the most potent or interesting disaster to you that you're seeing come up in the first third of the book that you're working on. So either the first third of Don DeLillo's White Noise or the first third of The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Um, I usually say the name with white noise because, you plug in white noise and you get a lot of things. So I want to be very particular about what I'm talking about. Another thing that you can do this week is if you have access to view either of these, either on streaming or another kind of service, or if you own the DVD or whatever it is, you can go ahead and view the film. I'm going to ask that you view the film a couple of times throughout the semester. I'm going to ask, hopefully, that you view the film, that represents the book of your choice by next week. Um, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and get a head start on it if that's something that you can do. Um, I am in the process of going back through and answering questions. I've been fielding questions, but more than anything, I um, have been working today on this particular discussion, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how you um, go about answering the questions that I've laid out for you. So, there are some literature based questions. There's a journalistic set of questions: the who, what, when, where, and why of the disaster that you pick. Then I'm going to ask you to provide one key component of each piece of each disasterology reading that you think would be relevant to the first third of the book that you're reading. So, really start getting in there and working on reading whichever book you chose to invest in, or, find an audiobook and listen to it. There are many, many different ways that you can engage with this literature. And really, as long as you're engaging with the literature in its full text form, I'm not concerned about what, whether you're listening to it or reading it or, that sort of thing. So, um, the same sort of goes for the film. Like, you could read the film, blanking on the name. You can read the script or the screenplay for the film. Finally found it, that word that I was looking for. Um, but I would really encourage you to try to watch the film so that you can take in all of the elements, the audio and the visual, because that is how a film gets the details into um, audiovisual format in a way that is more clearly representative of the book that it is adapting. So we'll want to analyze that. And yes, you can get some of those things by looking through a screenplay and seeing the way that things are described so that they can then be acted out. But it's a much, much better analytical experience if you're able to actually watch the film. So that's it. Just a quick announcement to kind of give you guys a heads up. After that, in your discussion post, I ask you to um, complete a couple of tasks in regard to the book that you choose. And this is going to be the task of, writing a thesis statement, um, providing an analytical approach. This could also be considered a topic sentence. I mean, it just depends on where in an essay this particular paragraph sort of that you're writing is going to could go. Um, and the last thing I ask you to do is cite everything that we were engaging with this week, but I ask you to use something called Zotero Bib. It's not the full-on Zotero program. That's a little bit more advanced skill. If you want to check that out, I will provide a unit later on that will help you in that. But for right now, we're just using Zotero Bib and plugging things in there and seeing how that goes differently for you and how successful you're able to be with it. It's one of the most recommended sites if you're going to actually have a service format your citations for you. And here you want to go in and you want to choose MLA format, works cited page. once you get all of your entries plugged in on Zotero Bid. So that's all. Ciao.